artist. You are my heart, because I understand what you're going through. When I started out as an artist, I was just on my stoop, the stairs outside, just drawing the house across the street. And that just calmed me down, right? And I just kept doing that. And then by the time it was time for me to go to college, long story short, I so to my graduate went to Florida in Gainesville, University of Florida. So that was really, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And at that time, I had twin girls who were still in the stroller, but that would not stop me. I just took them everywhere I went. I even took them to some of the openings that we had at the colleges. And, I dressed them up and I showed them the art, and I would ask them, what do you think? And they'd look and they'd say, I like it. So they grew up with art. Um, but the thing is, even back then, now I'm 60. I love to say my age because you could see I'm still doing my thing. I'm happy. I'm very healthy because I'm doing what I love, because I'm getting energy back from what I do. Because I do a good job, and I do a good job because if I don't do a good job, I'm going to get a lot of flack. Flack brings me down. So whatever you do, please do a good job, because once you do a good job, yes, you'll have some people out there, maybe about 3% of the people you work with are going to be like pain in the butts. But just remember the 97% who are saying, yay, yay, and focus on them, okay? And just sort of like avoid the others, because it's not worth your while. It will stress you out and bring you down. So it's wonderful that you guys are having this marketing class. When I was in college, one of my professors said, if you call yourself a painter, not all of you are painters, but whatever you call yourself, if you call yourself a painter, you better be painting, right? And I always remember that. And he also said, for artists, you have to at least paint 50% of the time and do marketing 50% of the time. So my professor, who was actually a working artist as well, he would spend half the year just focusing on producing. And then the other half of the year, promoting his work, getting out there, meeting people. So when I was in Florida in undergrad, right, that was in the 80s. Yeah. 80s. Yeah, that was in the 80s. So we didn't have a whole bunch of internet then. Actually, I was one of the first artists who had a website, and that's why I got abstractpaintings.com. Can you imagine getting that today? I found out that it's worth at least $1,600 for that domain name. I'm like, what? So I love technology. So for me, what I did to market myself would at that time in the early 80s, right? Was it 80s? Yeah, the 80s. I had like those slide, the little slides you would put in a slide machine. You may not know this, but anyway, I didn't have what I have today, which is my brochure, right? It's just like a pamphlet. It's got my art. You don't have to put all your pieces of work, just something that you think will make an impact, a little bio, little statement, right? And of course, all of the contact information, right? And you should have your contact information on everything you send out there, even your email. You should have a little, like signature section when you send out email, so people, because you never know who would want to call you right away, and it's like, what's their phone number, and it'll be in your email. So do that. And so what I did was, no matter where I went, I had my little slides in a little box, right? And I had the little tiny slide machine. So everybody who I met for the first time, they say, who are you? What are you doing? I said, oh, I'm an artist. Oh, really? What do you do? I said, well, nice that you would ask. Check it out. And I take out my little slide machine. It looked like, you know, those kaleidoscope things you look at when you're little. I don't
Oh, a
know.
Viewmaster.
Right, like a Viewmaster.
Yeah.
But this was just a single ocular, right? Just a single little thing. And I'd have it ready, and I said, look, and they take it and they look it up to the line. It's like, wow. So the main thing is for marketing, guys, you gotta impress everybody who you meet. Impress them, give them the wow factor. Okay, this is the wow factor. One piece that you really love, that's really you. You brand yourself not just with your graphics, but with what you do, how you do it, how you make it real available. And I would give them, I said, oh, you can have it nowadays, right? You can have this. Oh, really? Yes. They could take it, they could frame it, whatever it is, but they'll remember you. They will not throw it away if it's nice. So that got me through college. I would sell my paintings. No, first I would do my assignment for class, get an A, so I know this one's gonna do well, right? I would get it photographed by the photographer in the college. At that time, I didn't have the iPhone and all this other stuff you could easily take your pictures with, right? Trish will tell you about that later in her to-do list. That's why I asked you, Trish. So I would do that. I would get my A, get it photographed, enter it into a like a contest, right? Like a contest. Or I would just find wherever there's a contest, I'm in, especially if it's free, right? Sometimes it's not free. That's okay if it's worth it, because I know I'm gonna, when I get there, even if I have to rent a little van, because at that time, like I said, I had my daughters, right? They were twin little ones. So I had to have the child seat. I couldn't really put on my paintings. So put them at the babysitter, go to the show with the truck with my paintings, set it up. And invariably I would sell. Invariably I would sell. Why? Because in my heart, I knew I would sell. And if I didn't sell, I'm like, what? But I always sold, right? So you have to come with the feeling, not just hoping. Nah, hope ain't good. It's not enough. You gotta know. You gotta know this is gonna sell. This is gonna do it. And how do you know that? Because you believe in what you're doing. You're not like going like, oh, I got so much talent, I don't know what to do. Yes, you do. Whatever gives you the most energy. You see me, you know, I must be doing what I'm loving because I got so much energy, and I still don't know what to do. Sometimes it blinds me, like, oh my God, I got to do something. So in college and undergrad, what I did was I worked out. I still work out twice a day. I have to, because especially with COVID, right? You can't get out as much as you want, even though I still do it. I got to work out, guys. Please do your body a favor. Take care of yourself. The world needs you. Artists, we are creating the world. It's the naysayers that destroy it. We actually create it. So we have to take care of ourselves. That is how come I founded Art Impact International. Even in undergrad, my fellow students, how do you do it? I would sell my work. I got contracts. I got an attorney who skills, and she wrote a contract for me, right? And I still have it to this day, and I share it with my members of my organization, so that who cannot afford my work, that they make an agreement to have a monthly payment plan. Nobody has ever stiffed me except maybe 2 people. But that was because they weren't in my circle where I was going to school, and they were just visiting or something. But like I said, you focus on the ones who really do good by you. So even then in school, my fellow students would ask me, how do you do it? So even back then in the 80s and 90s, I would share all my information. And that's why I love being here with you today, so I can share what works and what doesn't work. What doesn't work is doubt. Do not doubt. And if you do doubt, really sit with yourself and ask yourself, why? What am I doing? You know, who said something that made me feel less than I know I am? You know, you have to really be so strong in yourself. When I started out, I didn't even think about exhibiting my artwork. It didn't even cross my mind. I put it under the bed. I paint. Oh, it's great. Get my A. This was before I started really stuck it under the bed. And then I can't remember how I met. This was a lady in the city council in Florida. She had visited me, and I said, I'm an artist. And she said, oh yeah, let me see some of your stuff. And she's looking around. She didn't see anything. I said, oh, it's under the bed. She went, under the bed, girl. You got to take that stuff. So she gave me my first show. There were reporters, there were people. I was so nervous. I shook for 2 weeks afterward. So I can imagine the mega superstars out there, how they go and like, they do drugs, you know, just to calm themselves down. I'm not a druggie. I can't do it. If I did that, I would really be going to the moon. So I really understand. Just to say I'm an artist, just to admit, say I'm an artist. It took me a while. I'm not a. To me, artists were like gods. Excuse me. So it took a while for me to accept the fact that yes, I'm an artist. And what made me most happy. One second. I had some water here. Where did I put it?
Take your time.
Oh, here it is. See, I had water ready. I haven't been speaking a lot lately because of the COVID, but when I do speak, I get so excited. So I got to drink some water.
That's okay.
Yes. Artists as gods, because we create. Now, so I started out helping my fellow artists. I said, look, this is what you got to do. You got to do A, B, C, D, and E. This is what Trish is teaching you guys. I asked her for your to-do list. All this stuff is boss. It is great. But to do the most excellent job, again, you have to believe in what you're doing as an artist. You have to believe that there's no competition for you. There's only one of you, okay? So you have a monopoly on you. Even if somebody tries to steal your work, they can't. And if they do, let God take care of them, okay? But you have so much in you. The fact that you're in artist marketing, you know that the internet is going to be your best friend. But it has to start with what you have to give, what you have to offer, what sets you apart. You can't just go and start doing stuff like, you know, like the masters only. Uh-oh.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I think Carolyn might have lost her signal or something. She was coming in and out. Let's see if she comes back. I don't see her. Well, while we're waiting for Caroline to come back, I want to make sure, does anyone have any questions about the discussion board?
Let's see. Sorry again to say this. Sorry for being late. I fell. So I should have stayed.
Thank you. It's all right. So for your assignments, instead of emailing me, there's a link on the discussion board in Blackboard, and you're going to upload your bio and artist statement that's due, and the photography. It'll just be easier for me to grade because it'll be in one place, and it's tied to the grading system for the school. So I know I've said email it or G Drive or this or that, but I think that this setup is going to work a lot better for me, just because I have to, grade the work and stuff. I can give you guys credit for the work, and I'll be able to keep track. Does anyone have any questions about that?
We technically did this before, right? But now we just got to upload to Blackboard.
Yeah, if you don't mind, because I'm not catching all the emails. I get like 150 emails a day, and it's just a little overwhelming.
All right.
Thank you. See if she's, wonder what happened. I hope she didn't lose her power. I'm gonna pause our,
So
no worries. Glad you're back.
Thank you. So I was talking about how the most important thing you can do is really to believe in yourself. And I'm not just saying that hope thing, to just know what it is you're doing, that you are the only one of you, but you do have to know what it is you're trying to do in this world through your art. This is why I've got this organization. What we're doing now is creating exhibits, showing artwork that's going to make a difference, that at least is bringing attention to the United Nations list of global issues. We all know the world has issues, but it's nice to know that the United Nations has created a very nice compact list of things that deserves our attention. So what better way than to show that attention through the entertainment world of art? So that's what I'm doing. So this is keeping the artists edified, keeping them wanting to do well, giving them opportunities to interpret what it is they're thinking is going on. Like the show we're doing now is called The Child Factor. I had no idea 60% of the human trafficking were of children. You hear human trafficking, you think, big people, but no, as young as 3 years old, right? So that's what we're working on now in our exhibit, is the Child Factor. So, but back in the day, I would help my fellow students by showing them, enter your artwork into different competitions, different openings, different artist calls. Go show up, visit museums, visit galleries. Oh, one important tip: do not walk into a gallery. Can I speak with the owner? Can I speak with? It's like soliciting. Do not solicit. Just go in there like you're a collector. You're not going undercover. You're just being yourself. You're looking. What are you looking for? Well, what's in this gallery? Would my work fit in here? If it's a gallery of abstract paintings and that's all you see, and you're a photorealistic painter, they're not going to be interested in your work. Okay, I hope you know that. So that's one of the things you're going to, or if you think you can talk them into showing abstract work, you better kind of know them a little bit before you go, giving your spiel. Okay. So, but go to places and look and see, look at the prices. See, okay, one art piece, $10,000. Okay, your work would fit in here. Do you sell your work for $10,000? If you're going to say no, well, you can make a note of the artist name, check them out, look and see what their background is, and see if you really, are you on their level? Have you shown in museums? Have you done, you know, why is this artist work $10,000? I had one gallery, an art dealer come to me and say, Carolyn, how much is this piece selling for? I say, you know, $750. Immediately, without a bat of an eye, she said, that's not worth my while. Why? Because she makes a 50% commission. You know, $325 or whatever it is of no interest to her. So that's just an example. Another thing, you know, these, we were talking about, like one place I showed was the Art Expo in Jacob Javits Center in New York, right? Around in 2011 or so. Anyway, sometime back there. But it was they were just now opening up to individual artists. So I'm like, wow, this is great. I'm in. 2 weeks before, I had gotten a interview with an art dealer in New York, and this was a big break for me because he had clients who he loved my work. I just brought in because somebody sort of set up that meeting. I didn't walk in there and say, can I speak with the gallery owner? No, I had an entry. So somebody hooked it up for me. And I went, I had my portfolio, right? I didn't just have this, I had a whole nice portfolio, right? With my artwork printed out. Now you can probably do an art book, self-published, and have it on the ready, okay? And then show you, and I showed my work, and he says, wow, this reminds me of Wolfgang or whatever, I forget his name. But I actually met that artist. I'm bad remembering names sometimes. But anyway, he said, I love this work, do encaustic. I have many clients in China who love art that is painted with the wax. You do this, and I guarantee you, your art is going to sell. So I had already graduated. I didn't learn encaustic. I thought it was caustic. I thought it was going to, you know, make me sick. Anyway, but I was motivated. He told me to do it. He was an art dealer. I'm like, yes. So I went, I got a book, I learned, I got all the materials, expensive stuff, but I did it. And sure enough, I fell in love with creating art with pigmented beeswax, right? I'm from Trinidad. I love the heat. I'm from the Caribbean. I don't mind the heat. I'm sweating, I'm cooking up my own, I'm making my own encaustic sticks because those things are expensive. One little stick, $30. And I like to paint big. Well, that's gonna cost me $600 just to paint? Nah. So I found where I could get my own pigment. I got the beeswax, followed the directions, cooked it up. Man, I was in heaven. So Jacob Javits came up. Now, I showed the pieces to the art dealer. Did I? I don't think I did yet. I don't think I did. I showed it to the public. Well, that was my mistake because I was representing myself. So he showed up at the art expo and he looked at my work. He wouldn't even say hello. He wouldn't even say hi. He would not acknowledge me. So I learned the hard way. Art dealers want to own you, especially in New York. They want to own you. Usually if you enter a gallery, you're not supposed to do anything with your art a few miles outside of their gallery. I mean, this is not written in stone, but it sort of is. So if you know you belong to a gallery in New York, like in Brooklyn, maybe you shouldn't be going to Manhattan. Maybe you shouldn't be going even to Staten Island. Maybe go to New Jersey and you get your work in another gallery. So I'm just saying they're very territorial. The gallery industry can be very territorial. So I learned the hard way. So the positive thing was that I learned how to to paint with beeswax. I love it to this day. These paintings that I have in my here, this is in beeswax. This is a close-up of the beeswax paintings, right, in caustic. So again, my website is abstract paintings. You can't not.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
So again, when you have an entry with whoever it is, a museum, a gallery. Oh, one more other quick story about galleries. So I'm visiting galleries with my friend who's also an artist in Atlanta, Georgia. This area was nothing but, just like Chelsea, New York, nothing but galleries. So we walk in, and I did what I'm about to tell you never do, because now I know, don't do this, okay? I went into the first place, and the person said, oh, wow, this is, we looked, and I was representing my friend, right? I was like, I was his representative. So I said, yes, this is my friend, and he is a great artist, and do you want to see his website? And I had on my phone, and the person said, oh, very nice. It's such and such here. Oh, you know what? You guys should enter. Oh, and what do? You're an artist too? I said, yes, I'm an artist too. But he's just a master. And blah, I kept putting on to him. So they said, well, why don't you stick around and we can introduce you to the owner. Now, this is the big guy who owned the gallery, not just that gallery, other galleries in Atlanta. So we went in and we talked, and we had a really good discussion. So he wanted us to present our work so he could sell our work with his gallery. Okay, great. That was a good one. Goodbye. We'll sign up on your website. We go to the next gallery. I walk in and I tell the lady, I said, yeah, my name's Carolyn and I'm an artist. Well, I might as well have told her that I was the Walking Dead. She avoided me like the plague. That's why I say, don't go in and just tell the staff or the owner, because you don't know who's the owner, who's the staff. Don't just go in and say you're an artist too. Say, oh, just look around and see, wow, this is, good or bad or whatever it is. Have a discussion with them. If they ask you, yes. If they ask you, what do you do? Oh, I paint in caustic, or I'm a photographer, or whatever it is. Just as a matter of fact, you're not there to hound them down. Believe me, these guys get emails from all over the place. It's just, they just don't want any more. Okay, they just have a certain amount of space on their walls that they can fill with art. So you have to really consider their needs as well as yours. Again, that's what is nice now is we have the 3D virtual galleries. Now I don't have to say I don't have enough space for all the talented artists that are out there. Now all I have to do is pay a little extra for a whole new gallery, a digital gallery. Yes, it costs money, but not $1,000 a square foot, okay? So that's why we have these extraordinary exhibits online. We also have the physical ones, but not as huge. Right now we have a show that is 47 artists and 90 works of art. I've had over 100 works of art in some of the actual physical galleries. I like big. So we work with over 3,000 artists in 25 countries. And some of them, it's a lot of work. Yes, I agree. I know it's a lot of work, but it's worth it. Why is it worth it? Because you're worth it. The artists are worth it. Like I said, that I honestly believe that we create this world. Without us, it's going to be not here. It's going to be not here. It's going to be destroyed. So the world really needs our creativity, our talent. But I can tell you that all day long. You have to know it in your heart that what you do here on this planet now is really important. Okay, it's really important. So think about whatever it is you're trying to say through your art. How can you say it better? How can you say it through digital means? How can you say it to reach more people? These kinds of questions, whatever you do in your to-do list that Trish has given you, think about what it is you're presenting. That's the number one. What are you presenting? If you don't know, that's okay, but find out. Find out. If you have 10 things you love to do, focus on one for the year and then the other 9 next year. Just focus so you can go deep into it and break through your own boundaries to what's good and new and meaningful to you. Again, there's only one of you on this here planet. There's only one. You don't have to worry about competition. No, there's no competition for you. Not if you're yourself. If you're just you, who's going to compete? Nobody's going to compete. So I would like to ask each of you a question. If you don't know, say, I don't know. But I hope you don't say, I don't know. I hope you kind of know at least. If you kind of know, you can start, well, I kind of think. Okay. So I want to start with, I'm looking here at Edward. What do you want to say through your artwork? And don't make this a thesis answer, just can be a couple of sentences. What is it that you're trying to convey through your artwork?
I would say if I wanted to convey something through my artwork, it would be that the past is fun.
All right, the past is fun. Fun or funny?
Fun, funny, interesting,
Okay.
nostalgic,
Okay.
nostalgic, yeah, nostalgia.
The past is funny. Okay. And what do you, okay, let me not ask you too much because I want to get the others. I'm going to say, do you do, what's your medium? What's your medium?
I'm not much of an artist. I'm more of a marketer, but I've been creating. I'd say my medium would be digital.
Okay, fine. I was going to say, because the first thing that came to my mind was cartoons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, John, what are you trying to convey through your artwork?
I'm trying to convey that even though people grow up, it's still okay to look back on like little things you used to enjoy, like anime or cartoons, video games, whatnot. Keep the inner child in you alive, so to say.
Okay, and what's your medium?
I like doing digital drawings from my.
Okay, cool. And Delane? Delaney? Oh, she has her phone on mute.
Dejanay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dejanay.
Oh,
Probably,
hi, sorry.
Sorry.
I'd like to say through my art that the world is more than what you see. You can also imagine it's not just black and white, it's everything else in between.
And what's your medium?
I do between digital and acrylic painting.
Okay. So the acrylic painting, are those realistic paintings or are they abstract or some of both or what?
Some of both. I lean towards realistic.
Okay. Thank you. Melissa, what are you trying to convey through your art?
Well, I'm trying to show like symbolism in my art, and that's something I'm working on, and mainly trying to capture a story. Because I like to paint, but I also want it to have some meaning to it.
Okay, give me an example of your symbolism.
So right now I'm working on like things that are happening around, obviously, like the country, and a lot of stuff has happened obviously with George Floyd, and there was so many protests where I live. So I wanted to paint, a picture that represents something that I've been seeing everywhere, like on the news. So I just want to show something that's happening. I don't want to just paint. I know it's fun for me, but I also want people to see something when I paint. Like I want them to know that there's a meaning behind it and not just like, I know it's like relaxing, but I also want to have something meaningful.
Okay, so is it safe to say that what you just described is like you're painting current events that have meaning? I was looking for the symbolism part of it though, because symbolism means there's one item that symbolizes something. That's what I
Yeah.
was wondering. What are you actually painting or drawing or doing that conveys the symbol? What is the symbol? And if you don't have one yet, okay, but it's good to think about it.
Yeah, I think maybe like I try not to add too many things. I want like people to like just find the meaning. So like if I put like um I don't know, something like, or like right now like politics, I could put like the Washington building in the background and put like red around it because there's just really a lot of hate around what happened. So I could put something like that. It doesn't need to mean in it like something specific, but it's really cool to like find out what other people are thinking, even if it's not what I was thinking. It just shows how they symbolize things.
Okay. I just want to say real quick, when you talk about current events and symbolism, the first thing that came to mind for me were, like when you see somebody's sneakers like strung up along in the
Yeah.
street, that symbolizes the kid is dead, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when you said symbolism, and you talked about the violence going on, that's a symbol that most everybody, at least in the inner cities, know that when you see, like, somebody would throw sneakers that are tied together and they'll hang along a wire going across the street or someplace. They knew some kid was killed close to those shoes. So can you imagine a painting with that as a symbol, you know? So anyway, as you're talking, I'm telling you as an onlooker, what it means to me to just give you some stuff to work with, maybe as you're thinking about what it is you're trying to convey. But thank you, Melissa. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Karina, what are you trying to convey in your work?
So me personally, I like to do a lot of like I like to work with whatever's on my mind or I'm thinking or feeling at the moment. So like if I'm feeling like upset, I just, I use like angry colors or, or like I put things, grab like a whole bunch of objects and like either do a sculpture or something.
So is your medium clay?
I actually never worked with clay. I like to do a little bit of everything, but I consider myself a sculpture and a hands-on kind of person.
Mhm.
But I like to do a little bit of everything, but mostly that hands-on work. And I don't know, I just feel like, at least when I look at my work, I feel like there is a double meaning behind it of how I was feeling in that moment when I was working on it. And then when you look at it when it's done, maybe you see or feel something else. So it's
Mhm.
like when I'm working on it at that moment, there's a certain mindset process going through me, and then once you see it again in like 6 months or something, a year later, it's a totally different experience. So that's
Mhm.
really what
Mhm.
I really go through. um
It's okay. And what's your general media? Because it sounds like you try a little of everything. What is your favorite media right now?
So me personally, I like working with sculpture just because like I really enjoy using different materials. Like I don't just like painting. Like I like to use wood, I like to use metal, plastic, whatever I could get my hands.
Okay. Mixed media sculpture then, in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never could find the word, so thank you. What did you
Yeah.
say? Mixed
Okay.
media? Mixed
Wow.
media?
Okay. Okay. Cool. Thank you. But I just want to. Everybody's listening to each other's answers, and I want you to know that this is marketing for artists. And remember what I said. You are marketing you. If you are all over the place, you're not marketing. You can't market effectively.
Right.
When you start to let people know what you're about, you don't have to brand yourself into one single box. That's not what I'm saying. You have to have something where people can recognize your work. They don't all have to be like one artist. He will do all, different paintings, but he'll always have certain materials in his mixed media. He'll always have a white dot that represents something to him in his painting. That it's almost like a mark.
Mm-hmm.
You could call it a brand, but for me, it's a mark of who you are. So remember, marketing, mark. You mark it. It's a mark. What mark are you putting? So if you don't know what it is you're trying to say, your marketing will not be effective. Your bio, your statement, it all has to line up to what it is you're saying. It has to agree. You can't just put everything out there and expect people to find what you want to say. That's too much work for them. Okay, so if you don't know right now, please, I beseech you, figure it out. Figure it out. What it is that, and really, what gives you the most joy, the most energy. It's like everything will line up perfectly. There won't be, you could do it all night and you'll still feel good, right?
Yeah.
But I spent like over 20 years as a Zen student in Zen temples and stuff. So it may be easy for me to say, but I don't believe that you have to spend 20 years, on a cushion.
Mhm.
Not at all. You just have to spend some time with yourself and know, what it is that you're trying to say. But you have to know that what you have is worthwhile, right? Even if you don't know what it is yet. So you have to truly, really love, at least honor yourself and say, hey, there's only one of me on this here planet. What can I contribute? What can I contribute? If you live that way, then you won't. For me, when I was growing up, I was suicidal. I'm sorry. I tried 3 times. The thing would not work. I could laugh now because I'm still here to laugh. But I'm truly enjoying my life now. Suicide is not a part of my life anymore. But I know how that could be when you feel like the world is just too much to handle. I don't mean anything. What's going on? The darkness. But it didn't work. So I'm like, okay, I'm here for a reason. Why am I here? And so I'm here. And I'm so glad I'm here. I'm here for you. That's what I know. That's why I can't leave now. Crazy stuff has been happening, but I'm sorry, I don't have time to die. I gotta live, right? We gotta live. So while you're living, find out what is it? What is it that just is bringing the light onto the world? Because you're the only light we're gonna have. Okay, Abigail, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say in your art?
I used to be, before I switched to fine arts as my major, I used to be an education major and with fine arts. And I used to, like when I would give like small classes, I'd say, no matter how much you tell yourself you're not an artist or you can't draw or you can't paint or color, whatever, it is a complete lie. And I used to always convey that no matter how much you tell yourself you're not an artist or you can't draw, it's a lie, and you can, no matter what you do, you could put a color, like a dot on a piece of paper, and it's art. So I used to tell all of like my students, like, no matter what you tell yourself, it's not true, and you can always become an artist, even, doing like the smallest thing. So I think that when I do my paintings, or whenever I make something or create something, that's what I keep in mind. Like when I tell myself, when I create something and I don't really like it, I'm like, well, okay, it's not bad. It's something, and I can like work on it and become better in it. So that's what I keep in mind.
But what you're trying to convey through your art, like some artists love to paint landscapes, they like to paint animals, they like to paint, and they sort of do that. Like there was one artist, he just wants to paint about endangered animals. His paintings, his drawings, they're just gorgeous because he focuses on endangered animals. There's enough different species of endangered animals that he wouldn't be able to paint or draw with ink, with whatever, until he dies. He'll still have stuff. So in your art, what do you like to focus on? What is not just your media, but what is your subject?
I've been trying to find that, but I've
Okay.
recently found out, like because like we had presentations last week, and I've been trying to work on a couple things, and I've actually been doing a lot of landscape because I
Okay.
recently moved to North Bergen, and I have like a beautiful view of my room out the window, and I've been working on that a lot, and I think that that's something that I'm going to be sticking with for the rest of the
Okay.
semester. So, yeah.
Okay, well, good. That it's good to know, at least you know what gives you like light, because you're lining up with your own spirit.
Right.
You're lining up with what gives you power. People ask me, well, why do I had taught in college as well. And I asked many of the artists, why do they paint? Why? And so they asked me, why do you paint? And I say, because that's when I feel closest to God. That's when I feel closer. It's like you're so lined up. It's like you've got like this avenue straight to the source of power, of light, of soul, whatever you want to call God. I know whatever it is, that's like it. When I'm painting, that's it, right?
Yeah.
It's like you can't not feel it's like this is not just me as a human body, right? It's the spirit, it's the energy. So whatever you do and you feel that power inside of you, that's your cue. Yes, follow that yellow brick road. You follow that and it'll take you to a light that nobody can find except yourself. So you just have to listen. So if you know that you're just interested in landscape, you don't know where that's going to take you, but don't go out all over the place. Just stick with landscape and see what landscape, what about the landscape, why landscape, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Okay. So these boxes are switching around, so I don't know who's next.
How about Leaf?
Okay.
Or-
Leaf, yes, there you go, Leaf.
Well, to be honest, I find it kind of difficult as well. But I guess just like I think a lot of art is a bit overcomplicated. And for me, it's just like trying to I don't know, portray like how I feel when I paint, and more of just like keeping that like inner child and like just the fun part of it. So for me, you talked about like when you do art, you feel closest to God. And for me, it's just like when I find time to paint, I'm like, I can wake up and then I'm like, I might even like skip breakfast and I start painting, and then I just like forget to eat, forget to drink, and I'm like suddenly I've been painting for like 7 hours.
Yeah.
And it's just weird. So like I'm trying not to overcomplicate it, but yet like kind of have one, like I want it to be I want people to be able to like look at a piece and then kind of recognize it's me, but not like having to look at a piece and then trying to like figure out too many stuff other than just seeing it. and immediately understanding that it's like the guy who painted it has like a lot of energy. He's like
Right.
understanding the, I don't know what to say about it. It's kind of difficult to find words to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Well, okay. Use the thesaurus. I recommend this to all of you, because as you're writing your artist statements, right, this is going to be very helpful. Thesaurus.com. So you could look up the word energy in thesaurus.com, and they'll give you a long list of words similar to energy. And you might find a word that's like, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. So for those who are not sure exactly how to word it, and that's true with many of us, right? I use thesaurus.com every day, because there's there's nuances to the English language. Use thesaurus.com and it'll help you to write a dynamite statement, okay? So you could figure out, like, my artist statement is like, okay, I put who inspires me. Here's one of the sentences. I want to capture the wonder of our universe. I want to capture the wonder of our universe, its radiance and intelligence in my paintings, and do it with drama and emotion. So Leaf, what you described is similar. You want them to feel your energy. So they should see the energy. They should see the energy in your painting, right? And I'm sure they do. I haven't seen you guys' work yet, but I'm sure it's there. So it doesn't have to be an analytical thing, but at least the impression that they get, it should fit with what you're trying to convey, because it's similar. You want to convey something. What is that something? For Leaf, it's conveying energy. We all need energy. Some people are dying out there. They have no energy. So the painting may actually help them to remember what energy looks like, right? Okay, thank you, Leaf.
thank you.
Okay, Trish, help me out here. Who should be next?
And that's Jeremy.
Jeremy, okay. Jeremy, the question is, what are you trying to convey in your artwork, and how through your medium?
So what I try to do, really, my artwork in terms of what I'm trying to convey, like, it depends on what I have on my mind, and sometimes it's reflected in the image. Like, if I wanted to go for something natural, I'd probably draw something like realistic in a sense. If I wanted to go something stab-based, I'll try to sort of, in a way, draw something like fierce or violent. If I wanted to do something wacky or like something wacky, or just something lighthearted, I'll probably draw like a cartoony image.
So if you're going to market, thank you, Jeremy. Now, if you're going to market yourself, say you're going to put a promotion that's going to represent who Jeremy Zayas is as an artist, what would be out there? What would we see? Would we see those 5 or 6 things, or would we see, generally speaking, one of them? And if, which one? Remember, I'm trying to help you guys focus, because marketing, you want to market something. You want to market you want to market what you're conveying. Yes, we all have different emotions, yes. So if it's all these different emotions, which one are you going to start with? At least start, so people will know, okay, this is Jeremy's emotion for the year or for the month or for the week. But how would you do that? And would you, hopefully you won't use all these different mediums because it'll mix people up, right? 10 different media and 10 different emotions, they wouldn't find you. They'll find they'll find all of the state. Which one, Jeremy? Which one?
Probably probably the last one, the cartoony thing in a sense, considering I sort of have a character I made who's like I would consider kind of a mascot.
Okay, that's a
Probably
great
them.
start. That's a great start. That's something people could put their hands on and hold and know this is Jeremy. It could be doing all kind of different things, but that's great. That's great. All right, thank you. Trish, who's next? Or did we cover everyone?
I think that's everyone, right? I think we got
Okay,
everyone.
great.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're running out of time, but if you have
Oh,
any
okay.
questions for me, I know I talked a lot, but I get so excited, about this subject. Do you have any questions at all?
Can you talk about a little bit more about the shows that you curate?
Sure. Should I share my screen?
Yeah, that would be great if you could just
Okay.
show.
Okay, let me pull it up for you 1 second here. Okay. Okay, let me share the screen now. Okay, can you see the screen, guys?
No.
You can't. Okay.
Oh wait, now we're seeing it.
Now you're seeing it? Okay, and you see it's on the global issues page?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the child factor. This is our newest exhibit. It just opened 2 days ago. And what I do for each show is I create a video for each of the artists, but this one is the group video. So it has all 47 artists in this video. It shows their face, and it also shows one piece of their art that's in the show. They may have 3 pieces, but I didn't want the video to be too long. So this one is already 6 minutes long. So I'm not going to show it, but you're welcome to see it on your own. It's at, you can see it, the address artimpact.org, and it's the child factor. So I put together the digital invitation or announcement. And I also put together, as I said, because this is digital, I'm able to have not just one gallery, but in this case, 4. And I've had up to 7 galleries for a show. Some of them are just, the work is too magnificent not to show the world. So this one, I have the artists listed, which of the 47 artists are in which gallery. So what I'm going to do is click on the first one, and you'll see that it's connected to the exhibit.com platform for digital galleries. I like this platform because you can't right click and copy the paintings off the internet. I mean, people can print screen and still take it, but they have to make that extra step. So there's a lot of code that's being unraveled on this platform. It's very large because the show is big. So it takes a little minute or 2 to load everything, but this gives you a chance to read the introduction to the show. Okay. And so this is it. And you just move around the 3D digital gallery with your mouse, right? And you could use these if you want to look at certain paintings. Use this little thing. I usually don't. I usually just click on the piece, and once you left click on the piece, it should bring it up. It's still probably loading.
Yeah, because Zoom's eating up a lot of memory.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, let's see if it'll, yeah, it's, maybe because I have probably 20 windows open in the background as well. But this is just one of them. Again, oh, it's starting to move. Okay, very good. Wow. And there's actually on this side of the painting, this information. But because it's taking a long time to load, you can't see it, but you can also read it here in this little box, right? The price and everything. And so what I'm still working on is actually, there's, instead of it just being the inquire, it will be purchase. So these are going to be connected to the e-commerce pages. So it makes it easy for the collector to collect the piece. But they can go around and see the entire show. So once you click on something, it'll bring it up. Yeah. This lady here, she used reclaimed wood from a fire in Arkansas, and she created this piece. So for those who love to work with their hands, you can work with mostly anything if you like to construct things. And she's made this, and for her, this is entitled The Golden Idea, Reclaimed Wood, and it represents the mind of a child. For her, obviously. And there's another piece next to it. This lady who's from Trinidad, Andrea Clement, she used driftwood from the beach. Actually, it's from the Potomac River. And she's taken out these and she's created imagery with that. So even though this is a 3D virtual gallery, the sculptors and the ceramicists, you can still send in an image and it can be in the exhibit, which makes it very convenient. And these are two paintings by the same artist regarding children. So the whole idea behind this show is to bring people's attention to children and that they have rights around the globe. They have rights. So we want to focus not only on the negative, but the positive aspects of children. And for the globe to remember that they count, they're people, right? So again, you can find this on our website, right? And we also are working with the Precious Gems in Africa and the Children's National Hospital in Washington, D.C. And we're actually going to be showing 50 of these pieces at the hospital gallery to inspire the patients, the staff, the doctors, the nurses, the staff, everybody who enters into the hospital, they'll see some of these artwork. And when we sell a painting, parts of the proceeds will go to both of these charities. So this is how I incorporate making an impact in life with our art, and to help. So everything that you guys have said about what you're doing, it can be done with any global issue that you want to think of. You know, just all you have to do is think about it. You don't have to exit what you're doing. You just have to sort of align it with what matters in the world today. I'm saying that as being a part of Art Impact International as far as doing artwork, but you don't have to be a part of our organization. I think it will help you to feel better about what you're doing, knowing that it's something that matters in the world today. As one of you had mentioned about current events, you can make this having to do with current events, right? So was that good enough, you guys, to see? You can at your leisure, you can go to artimpact.org or artimpactinternational.org. We have two websites. The first one that I mentioned, .org. That has been our main website. This one is the newest. This is our newest website for 2021 that we're doing, that's focusing on the global issues. And so, and here they are. They're in picture form. All you have to do is just toggle over it and it'll say atomic energy, climate change. There's a whole list. Instead of just having it in words, I made these little photographs here, but you can also, I think I had a link here. Yeah, this down here is the actual link that links with these pictures. They all both go to the same place, but for those who like to read, these are the global issues here. See, so children is one, and that's the one that our exhibit is focused on. And they have one called youth. This is the difference between children and youth as far as the UN are concerned is age. Youth are the children who are at puberty and up to 21 years old. The children are newborns up to puberty. That's how they distinguish what's the difference between a child and a youth. Okay, so
that's interesting.
Yeah. So we have links on this website that will go to the UN websites. So here, if you click on oceans, we had a show called Save Our Oceans, Save Our Seas. So these links go to the United Nations, and you can read all about what they found, what's affecting our oceans. So as an artist, I know that you are intelligent. You're not just playing scribbly scrabbly with crayons. I know that, and you know that. And I think the more educated you are about what's happening in the world that is challenging the rest of humanity, the more you will find motivation in your own work to know that, hey, if you care about this stuff, if you don't care, then you don't care, it's okay. But if you care about this stuff, then you can point your work toward helping to make this planet survive, and for your children, for the planet to be a better place for them to live, right? Some people they have a very, short range view and that's it, but I don't think that's true for us. Okay, so any other questions?
I think I have one.
Go ahead.
In your career, like, what was the most unexpected challenge? I know, like, you start a process and it's going to be challenging, but like, what was something that like really came up that like you like weren't prepared for, that you felt that you weren't prepared for?
Okay, good question. I think for me, it was actually managerial, because I've always worked very well on my own. But when I knew that I needed to have a staff, or that I needed to have people helping me a lot, I always assumed that they knew what to do, and I didn't have to really micromanage them or anything. They took the money, but they didn't do the work. And that to me was a surprise. That was the most challenging. I'm still rattling with that right now, because I know if I have something to do, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to wait for somebody to tell me what it is I know I'm supposed to do. So that was the thing for me. It was managerial. That was the thing for me. But as an artist, there wasn't anything that came up that I couldn't. Well, I guess there was one. I'm walking down the street and somebody asked me, no, I wasn't just walking down the street. I was walking down the street with this person, and they asked me something, and I said, I'm an artist. And they said, you don't look like an artist. I'm thinking, I was not expecting that. I mean, I used to model, but the artist, so you see, I had to come, and also the art that I was doing in undergrad, it wasn't the typical, and I don't want to say just typical, but Afro-American, Black-centric, Afrocentric art. So when I would enter my work into one of the shows, I got like second place, and I knew second place, I deserve first place. It wasn't Black enough. So for me, that was something that was surprising. And so I'm not seen as in somebody else's eyes as fitting into this box of Black. I went to college, and some of the students said, you're not Black. I'm like, what? So I don't get it. I still don't get it. I'm me. I'm 100% me, right? I'm me. My skin is dark. I'm Black. I may not be what people have their ideas of what Black is, but it's just a very closed-minded view. I'm just not there with them. So it's always surprising when I get that feedback. I'm not Black, or I'm not Black enough, or my art isn't Black enough, or I'm not representing for the Blacks. You see my artwork? It's about the cosmos. It's about outer space. We're just one little speck in the whole multiverse.
We're one human race.
Yeah, exactly. We're one human race. I just, to me, it's like the most unintelligent view I could imagine is when people say when they, you're just you're purely yourself in all your glory. Come on. It's them that don't really see that they are their own glory, that they start picking at other people. So it's a reflection on their intelligence level, as far as I'm concerned. You're not seeing the whole picture of life. When the sun shines, who does it shine on? I'm not going to shine on her because she's Black, or she's white, or she's Chinese. No, the sun shines on all of us, right? So I don't know. Don't get me started here. Right. But that was thank you for that question, Edward. That was my biggest. I grew up with my grandmother from Barbados. I'm from Trinidad. My grandmother's from Barbados. and she took me to different places. We worked with whites, with blacks. Growing up, I didn't see a difference. I just saw people and cheese sandwiches. That's it. So, you know how kids remember food, right? Not so much color, they remember food. so,
Right.
so, any other questions?
How, so when you, I'm not, sorry, I'm trying to word it correctly.
It's okay, don't worry.
When did you find like your style, when you started paint, like when you started creating your art, you kind of said, oh, this is it, this is like your style? Like, did you have like a moment where it was like, oh, aha, this is going to be it, that type of thing?
Yes, 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 and more yes. That was in my, I guess that was in my junior year in undergrad. I loved art history, and that was when I learned about the abstract expressionists. That's when I learned about abstract painting. And when I learned, I'm gonna share this with you, my website. I don't know if I'm still sharing or not, but
You are.
I am. Okay, great. This is my website, abstract paintings. I have it .org because whenever I sell a painting, I give most of the money to Art Impact International or whatever we're working on. So here, there's something I call the galleries, and this will show you my progression as an artist from 1992. This was my work, what I was doing before. You could see at the top, it's the early 1992s. This is what I was doing because I was painting from the actual models, nude models in our class. So I would paint them and then I would put clothes on them and, you know, beards. And then I got into the abstract because I asked my professor, after I learned about the abstract expressionists and abstract paintings in general, I asked, because, you know, as a West Indian kid, you ask permission, you honor your elders, right? So I asked permission, can I paint in abstract? And he said, go for it. And that's when I started. So I started with watercolor, and all of these are watercolors. So this is the 1993. And I just loved it. And it was from the watercolor and oil, and you see all here. So when you have time, you can, if you'd like, you can look and see the progression. I started learning about music, the Marcotone theory about music and how different notes would correspond with different colors, right? So in that music theory class, I incorporated the information that I learned that into my artwork, and I would title the works based on the color. See, big G jumps across 3 C's, right? So, and I would just go to town with the watercolor and oil. So it was in the 1993s that I really said, I'm an abstract painter, because I felt so free. I felt like I'm expressing myself and not just recreating what everybody sees already, right? But certain things people don't see, but they can recognize something in them. And so that's when it hit me. That was my style. And so it went from this, it's always colorful more or less, to now you can see, this is the 2011, where I'm painting in having to do with the cosmology. Because at night, at least once or twice a week, I dream that I'm traveling in the universe. Because I believe that I'm more than my body. My energy, my consciousness is not just packed into one little spot on this planet. You're really out there. So I'm in touch with it. So I bring back the information here and I paint about it, you see. So for me, the cosmology and so I've stuck with cosmology because I love circles. So you'll see a lot of circles. They represent not just the planets, but also cells in the body. I was a great biology major too. Almost became a doctor, but after I had to cut up a fetal pig, I left the class. I'm like, I can't do this.
Your work is so beautiful. It's really
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you. And I learned as much technology as I could. I even learned how to fix computers. I mean, you can teach yourself so much so you can be of use to this planet, but make sure that it's useful in a positive way, right? Yes, you want to be able to pay your bills and eat and sleep and wear nice and warm clothes, but you really also want to align yourself with people who also want the best for this planet and not the worst. So, so that was a long-winded question, but these statements about each painting, it just gives you an idea of what it is about and where I'm coming from. So if people want to read, they can read. If they don't want to read, they can just look. You know, they can just look. So, and this is on glass. I remember painting on glass. Let me go back. So this was a 2011, and now we are in 2021. I don't have my 20 on this one yet, but I did sell most of these paintings that's on here. This one had, because we're in Black History Month, this particular one, this was on glass. And what I did was I took the pane of glass and I sprayed enamel on the back of it. So it became this beautiful blue colored glass. And then I painted using a brush. I painted the melted beeswax directly on top of the glass. I did a very sketchy underdrawing, which was just one big circle and one little circle. And then I painted, and this, the name of this is Golden Globe, right? And
Wait, do you sell directly from your website or?
I used to have the prices and everything on there, but one older artist told me, especially if you're out there in the world like I am, the IRS does not like artists. So she warned me, take down your prices because they're going to be looking for for you to pay taxes on stuff that, you know, even if you have paid, they're going to be after you because they went after her. So from then I don't. Anybody who wants to buy my artwork, they either buy it through my dealer or through me because they know me, or they'll contact me. I have all kinds of ways for people to contact me. So, but you can, I'm not saying don't put your prices on there. I'm just being extra careful. But I have sold other artists' work on our Art Impact International website because I've met them at a show and they're ready to purchase, and I'll say, okay, go to this page and click the button, you know, so I make it easy for them to do that. But that's like a group show. But singularly, like you see, I used to have all the prices on here, but now I don't any longer because they say the IRS is not like artists. I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
But this one did sell, and the dealer sold it, you know, which was great, you know. And this one I believe sold for maybe 3,500 or something like that, because this is a pretty nice size painting. It's 34 by 48.
And it's on glass.
wide. So each panel is 2 panels. It was 2 feet wide, the panel. Yeah, because 30 is the height, right? So that's 24. Yeah, 24 inches wide for each panel. That would make it the 48. Yeah. So this piece really is about the part of the world that is barraged by hurricanes. This black part, and that used to be the area where the slave ships traveled. So there is a theory behind why there's so many hurricanes in those parts of the world. And the theory is because of the atrocities that happened during that time of the slave trade. So I made a globe of Earth, and I painted the dark part to represent this was where the slaves would kill themselves or be killed, right? So you can't know this stuff unless you would either ask me about it or read. The writing that I have beneath here, I don't think it has it here, but for the show, for the Black History show, I did talk about it. So
It's very interesting.
yeah. So yeah. So again, this is abstract paintings, and I'll go to one other, Art Impact International. This was the 3rd website. This was this is our main website for my organization that I started 6 years ago now, right? And this is the one where we have all of our exhibits. So if you ever want to see what exhibits, we've done in the last year or two, you can go here and you can see the Child Factor is also here. You see, so it's very similar to what's on the other website. It's just a little differently laid out. We have 4 different gallery talks scheduled, and you please, if you'd like to sign up, it's free. You can listen in and get to know the artists, get to know other art collectors. It's a very nice community based, and when I say community, a moment, a 1 hour of your life where you come together as a group and just talk about art and the issues around what the issue is about here, which is the children. And so I make it easy and make it user friendly. I also do the website design. I also do the website, everything on here. We got a letter from Precious Gems, the doctor who's the founder of that. He wrote a very beautiful letter of support of what we're doing through our artwork. So these kinds of things help nurture the artists, their resolve for what they're doing matters and that it is making a difference. And so again, I want to help the artists feel truly like they are here for a reason, right? And the more they know that, the more they're going to do wonderful art. And I will always make a platform for them to show their art. And so hopefully we'll get more grants written and accepted and more money coming in so we could travel these exhibits. We've already gone to Italy twice, very wonderful. And we spent a month each time there. So, but that cost money and that was pre-COVID. So after hopefully we'll travel again. So, okay, cool.
Well, your stuff is amazing. Your art is amazing, and what you're doing with, Art with Impact International, it's so wonderful. Giving artists a voice and bringing up all these international issues. It just really is great to have that awareness.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And these are the listing of all the artists, maybe not 100% of them, but most of them. See, these are all the artists. I do backlinking so that you guys who are into search engine optimization, SEO, Google likes that websites. So artists with a website, if you can have somebody outside of your website link to your website, Google now feels like your website is even a little more important than the 10 million other websites out there. So I do this for the artists so that they have a place that's backlinking to them, right? So this is their website. A normal art gallery, they are not going to give the general public access to their artists. Remember what I said about ownership and, you know, territorial and stuff. Another gallery owner, who's my art dealer, she knows that I do this. And she says, Carolyn, you're giving these people their websites. I said, yes, that's what I do. She says, oh, I don't do that. Believe me, I understand you don't. But that's what makes our impact different. We're here, look, I want you guys to prosper, to live long and prosper, like Spock would say, right?
Right.
Live long and prosper. Not just for yourselves, but for everybody. We're all this together. You know what I mean? We're in this all together. That's my feeling about it. So that's why I have all these artists. That's why I bust my chops to make sure that we have wonderful exhibits. Yes, they are extraordinary. Thank you, Trish, for saying that. Exhibits extraordinaire. Yes, that's it. It wasn't kidding you. But you see, but that's what's fueling my spirit, is all of these artists. They're fueling my spirit. So I'm doing it then 360 degrees, right? What's the point after 360? Zero.
That's
Zero.
right.
360, they merge.
That's right.
Right? That's a Zen point.
Yeah, it is. Definitely is.
They merge. And when you get there, you're like you're enlightened, because then you know. It's like the awareness of awareness. That's it.
It's so true.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? I love you guys' questions. All right. All right.
I guess not.
Okay. Okay. Trish, well, thank you for inviting me.
Thank
This
you,
was,
Caroline.
it was a joy to spend time with your students. I hope that I have given you some information that you could use, right? You could use out there, and just go get them, tigers.
Well, I hope you don't mind, I recorded this session.
Of course not. No,
And
no, not. of
save,
course.
I'll send you a copy. to the-
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
So,
All right then.
well,
Thanks.
thank you so much.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll talk to
Bye-bye.
you soon.
I'll stop sharing.
Okay.
Okay. You
So,
guys have a great weekend.
thank you, Caroline. You too.
Enjoy your
Bye-bye.
weekend.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So guys, so let's take like a 10-minute break. Okay. Or 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. I'll meet you right back here. Get some water. Be right back. I'm going to resume. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so let me move this. Can you guys see my screen? So,
Yes.
right, so I just thought I'd make you guys a to-do list. And we also have the list in the discussion group where you can start uploading things as you get them done. So if you're working on your style, try different things out. You know, like you said, you moved to North Bergen and you have a view of, is it a view of Manhattan?
Sadly, no.
Oh,
It's just it's very mountainy out here. So like I live on a hill, so I get like the perfect view of like most of the highways out there. So it's really interesting because like I actually sat by my window the other day and I was looking out and I was like, I've never thought about driving on a highway and like, those houses can actually see me like
oh yeah.
moving, but I never thought about it that way. It was like a very interesting mindset.
That is interesting. I lived in North Bergen. I was on Boulevard East, and I loved living there. I used to do paintings all the time, looking out my window. Matter of fact, I went and got a painting framed. I'll show it to you. And I'm in the elevator with the painting, and the guy goes, "Boulevard East." This is my. You can see it. It's my painting of Boulevard East.
I
Now
love that.
this is literally my view out my window. That
Mhm.
was the lights. It was so beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I'll put this down here. As you can see, I have paintings and sculptures, and my styles are, and the drawings I showed you at the first class, and it is hard honing in on a style. And I've become trying to become more of a sculptor and not as much of a painter because I feel like my sculptures are really strong. And last week I got that commission. I picked up the check on Thursday, had him sign a contract. Thank God I did that. Always have them sign a contract. His wife calls me the next day and she says, "I don't like sculptures. I want 2 paintings. I don't care what you do. I want 2 paintings." And I'm like, okay. I'm not going to turn the money away, but at the same time, just like, how does she even know I can paint? But they signed a contract. So, and I had the full amount. He had already paid me half up front. So contracts are super, super important. All right. So does anyone else want to talk about any art they worked on over the weekend? Any new styles, any new discoveries about their work?
I technically did a new art piece based off a kid's book,
Off of what?
off of a children's book.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Very cool. I lost track. I hit the wrong button. All right. Well, let me. Would you like to show it at all, or
I'll
are
show
you
it. Let me
still
go.
working on it?
I'll show it. It's kind of done at the moment. I'll probably try to experiment more for fun. But I'm gonna grab it. Start.
While you're pulling that up, next week I have an artist coming to speak as a guest speaker, and he's a really well-known artist for his graffiti art, and he also creates in 3D sculpting programs and prints out to 3D sculptures. He's a really, really interesting artist. I think you guys will like him. Oh, those are neat.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. You need to be in my animation class.
It's based off a children's book.
Uh-huh.
Based the two that you see here, how they look, and these are just added as extra. They try to replicate the style a bit.
Okay. But that's, so you're doing it off of another book. So you need to find your style without,
Well, I did it as like because I thought it was nice, so I thought I'd try to do it and then try to do original stuff based on that style.
oh, okay. Well, that's all right to do. I wasn't sure. I thought you meant you copied it. I wasn't sure. Cool. All right. Let me go finish going through my list then. Does anyone else have something to share? Anybody? No? Okay. All right, here we go. So if you're still having a hard time figuring out your style, just figure out what you're passionate about. That helps me a lot. I'm passionate about my medium that I work in, and I love to draw faces and I love to sculpt faces. So, and the human form. So that's where I am with my work. Everything I do has the human form in it somehow. And what I've been able to identify through my work and what I'm passionate about is that I create work when I'm in emotional states in a certain moment. So that's why I can identify that my work identifies with human emotions. And then I can enhance upon those different moments and emotional states depending on the shows I'm in or what specifically I'm trying to describe at that time. And then the other thing you want to do is join communities. And there's a lot of artist groups out there. There's, you want to join social media channels and such as, you know, different groups on Facebook, or you could even look for people on LinkedIn. And through connecting on LinkedIn, you can connect with thought leaders, different art groups, and different curators and things like that on LinkedIn and on a professional level. And you can also find people on Instagram. I was talking to a friend of mine who's a curator today, and she made a really important point. She said, don't just hashtag abstract art. She said, hashtag your targeted audience. So she's like, I follow NJ Artist. If you're not hashtagging NJ Artist, I'm not going to find you. But if you put hashtag NJ Artist on your Instagram post, I'll see your art probably. You know, that was a really great thing to hear her say, because it was like a really great example. Like, how are we using our hashtags? So that's important. And then start creating and share your work online. That goes back to opening an Instagram account. I know a lot of you don't use Facebook, but a lot of people are on Facebook, and Instagram is owned by Facebook. So they work together hand in hand. And then also you want to, after we get all these different items together, seeking out internships. I have someone that I'm going to be bringing in March who is looking for interns. So that'll be a nice opportunity. When I have these people on, it's good to be on screen or have your photo up, because it's, if you're talking and it's a black screen, it's a chance to get in front of these people. Okay, so you know, I don't know how many other classes you have that are bringing in professionals, but these people are, you know, it's an opportunity to meet someone. My first internship, I was in a classroom setting, and I asked the most questions, and I got an internship just because I asked the most questions. So they like it when you ask questions. It makes them feel like you care that they're there and they're giving you their time to talk to you in this class. Okay. So then after we have all these things together, you'll be able to work on your resume. I spelled resume. I spelled that wrong. Resume. So I wanted to pull another slide together. So Pro Arts, they have an internship program too. There's a Facebook community, like groups. You want to go into Facebook groups, and like here's just a group at Street Art NY. Again, thought leaders. I'm going to reach out to my friend who's the president of Artwork Conference, see if he'll do a lecture in our class as well. And a lot of these people that you'll be looking for are all on LinkedIn. And then art shows and entries, one of the best sites that I know that lists every single show in the country, sometimes in the world, it's called Call for Entry. I have a link to this that I'll be sending out to you guys. And another website that I'm on just as a community, it's Art Entrepreneur. So if I click on Art Entry, I think I'm logged in. Of course, it's not going to remember me right now. I don't remember my password. I get these emails like once a week from Call for Entry. And I'll print out my presentation. Basically, you can find all the different calls for art. You can find the call type. There's alumni, awards, competitions, exhibitions, fellowship, festivals, grants, literary, member, new media. The list is huge. Okay, and then eligibility, international, local, national, regional, and specified, and then they have fees or no fees. So like I said, I'm going to make a PDF out of this document, and it has a link for Call for Entry. Artist Entrepreneur. This is another site that I'm on. So I'm on several art sites with my artwork. So we're going to be building a website next. So you need to this week upload your artist statement and your bio, and then upload your photographs to the photograph section. And then I don't know why this is not running. It's probably because Zoom is a memory hog. So this is, you could be on several websites. So this is one of the websites that I'm on. It's called Art Entrepreneur. And you can create a portfolio on this site quite easily. And you can sell your work on this site. I like it, it's free. So if I go to my page, it has a lot of keywords, keyword search. I have just a slight bio. I haven't spent that much time on this. And I can go to my artwork, or this is the artwork for the site. Let me go back to my dashboard. Here's some of my art that I've uploaded. This is something new I just uploaded. And this is my whole gallery that I have up right now. And then each piece, this is the piece behind me. I don't think I have a price on that. But this is a pretty powerful tool, mainly because it works with SEO, and you can put pricing up here and you could sell it directly. So I kind of like this site. And then there's like members, services. You could have Art 360. This is a 360 virtual art fair. So these are exhibitions that you can try to get into and explore the 3D spaces. So as you can see, a lot of people are creating gallery spaces and giving you the virtual art experience. This to me is an actual gallery space that they have targeted with these hotspots. It's not like what we saw with what Carolyn was showing with her gallery. This is an actual gallery space that they have created an exhibition. So the higher end galleries are going to have stuff like this. We're not gonna have, I don't know what this piece is. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna try to read the artist's bio here. Crib and Cradle, that's the name of this piece. But I like this experience for a VR gallery. I have the link to this website, Art and Entrepreneur. And then there's Etsy.net. Not Etsy. Well, what's Etsy? Artsy. A-R-T-S-Y. So there's a difference between Etsy and Artsy. Artsy is a serious artist site. As you can see, there's a Calder, that was a Calder mobile. But you can see these are all some very famous pieces. There's quite an approval process to get into the site. But I'm actually on the site as well. Here's my works on Artsy. I have to resubmit. This is like one of my pieces that I have and the price. But you could find Picassos on Artsy, even, you know. This is a beautiful piece here. I think Zoom is just clogging everything up, like you wouldn't believe right now. But they have pre-20th century pieces here. This is Josh Reams. This is $11,000 for this print. They have auctions on here as well. And then they have the galleries, listing for galleries, fairs, shows, and museums. So this is how they show a gallery space. I've been in 2 shows, group shows, and I have my own webpage on Artsy. Now versus Etsy, this is a beautiful piece. You guys familiar with Etsy?
Love Etsy.
Okay, so can one of you tell me the difference between Etsy and Artsy? No?
You said Artsy is for serious artists?
Yeah.
And Etsy is kind of like more of a shopping center in general?
Right, shopping, crafts, fashion, things people make, right? That puts it in the craft category. So you'll have somebody who does beading, or you'll have some, but then you do have artists work on there too. So if I go to Etsy, they actually wanted me to be their creative director there. But I didn't want to go to Brooklyn. So if we go to Etsy, I actually have a gallery here too. But this is my prints. I don't sell. Let's see, shop manager. Where's my stuff? What? My account's been suspended. Oh, that's ridiculous. All right, well, that's not good. My account's been suspended. I wonder why. What did I do wrong? Uh-oh. Yeah. All right. I can't show you my stuff because I've been suspended. Oh, well. I probably didn't pay a bill. So let's go back to this here. All right. So Art World Conference. So Art World Conference. He's got this great tool he just added to this website. Kind of changes the type and the interface. Those are all the ADHD compliant stuff. or like if somebody who's handicapped, or colorblind or whatever, you could change the whole site. Oh my God. All right, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be playing around with this. It's pretty bad. All right, so, oh, come on, really? What did I do? Turn that off, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. I'm trying to turn off all these settings here. All right, so I designed his logo. I designed his first website, but he still kept some of the branding that I came up with. So Art World Conference was founded by Dexter Whipperly. These are some of the artists that I also was a speaker with at the conference for the first one that they ever had. And basically, they have events in right now New York, California, and Chicago. This past summer, they did a conference in LA. And these are some of the speakers that they had. When I was one of the presenters in the New York conference, and these are some of the speakers that were all presenting at the conference. So I'm going to send you guys an invite. We all have an opportunity to attend Taxes for Artists lecture coming up in March. For those of you who are actively selling, I highly recommend going to this because it helps you understand how you charge for your artwork and what happens with the government, how they try to take your money for the artwork you sell. And should you be putting a tax on your artwork when you're selling it? I mean, when I get into the thousands for a piece, I typically don't put tax on it because I feel like they're buying my artwork finally. I'm not putting a tax on it. But maybe I should be, I don't know. So I'll send you guys the invite for Art World Conference. This is the video.
I think that the business of being an artist is complicated. I think we all know there's no prescribed path. And I think even if there was one, it wouldn't hold everyone in this room, let alone every single person in this world who's trying to do it.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
You know, for me, I'm always kind of thinking about, okay, no, but what is this really about? You know, you can say, you know, representation or identity or what, you know, like, but what is it really about?
That's what I want to uncover here, to really have an honest discussion about the pitfalls and mistakes that you've seen happen for artists dealing with money.
Can you guys hear it?
Yes.
I want to thank all of you for being here. I can't say how meaningful it is to have you all here today.
But how do you show up as a full person with care, with listening, to not presume you even know the answer, but how do you discover the answer in solidarity?
We see this as an opportunity to bring a diverse group of artists and arts professionals to rally together, equipped with financial and business know-how, to begin to shift the way artists are valued. We need to advocate for ourselves and our communities. I think what we're trying to do is just be our authentic selves.
Motivating people.
And I think all of us are creating worlds. So we're creating worlds that we want other people to feel at home in.
Yeah, for me, success right now is about finding the emotional and intellectual community that allows me to continue making work interdependently. I really like that from Gina earlier.
How are you going to think about your needs as a person over a lifetime in conjunction with that very personal career trajectory? And might you put a little bit of that away?
I always like to encourage artists to like, don't be afraid to shoot high for, you know, what you think you're worth, you know, because especially with big corporations, for me, it's always a win-win. And I think that we are able to have honest conversations in a different way today.
I'm Dexter Wimberly.
And I'm Heather Bendari.
And we want to thank everyone for coming out to Art World Conference 2019. What a great day.
Thank you for coming.
That was a ton of work to pull that conference together. I did everything. I did their marketing, I did their branding, I did all the display, I did all the presentations, I did everything. That video animation, all that stuff. And I got to meet a lot of cool people. And that's the thing. As an artist, you're not going to do just one thing. You're going to have to do multiple things as an artist. So keep that in mind as well. When I was working on Art World Conference, I was building ProArt's website at the same time, which that was exhausting. I was building this website while I was building his website, and I had like people calling at me from everywhere, which was really frustrating. Anyway, but here's ProArts has a new space at Art 150 Gallery. They're always looking for interns too. I do have someone lined up coming up to speak from ProArts. He was the president. And I'll just show you, this is what the gallery looks like. And if you, I wonder how they have me, it changes every time I look. There I am. But, so there's my gallery again. And you get like a whole page with your bio. And I have a list of all the show exhibitions from 2020. This is the ribbon cutting for the opening of ProArt's new gallery space. And it's like 5,000 square feet. And they have studio space now for artists to work in. And so if you go to ProArts, jerseycity.org, this is their website. And that's the book I'm in too, the haiku book. I mentioned that. I just got published in. This is the haiku book. Let's see. Okay. So those are the sites I wanted to show you. And this is only a 2-page document, but I'm going to post it on the server. Let me just show you what I did on Blackboard. I'm going to turn off the recording. So let's see. So in the discussion board, here's all of our projects broken down. All right. Some of these things you're just going to be adding a link, right? After you do something. If you set up your social media and set up an Instagram page, just upload your Instagram address on Instagram. Okay. So like, I'm going to add something. I'll go to student view, discussion board, and then social media. And then you're just going to hit create thread. And you're going to say my Instagram, my social. All right, put your name, Trish Social. Okay, that way I know whose is who. So I'm going to put Trish Social, and then to find my social, just type in. I always try, whenever I'm sending a web address to someone, I type it in, the full address, and then I copy it, and then I paste it, and then that way it has the full URL with the whole HTTP, and it acts as a link. If you just type in the address, it's not always going to work. Okay. Let's go back to that again. Do you guys have any questions on what I added to Blackboard?
didn't see anywhere to hand identity map.
Yeah, I forgot to do that one. I'll add that. Okay. So, so it's now. Put that under the bio. Okay, so it's there now. So I added, oh, where's my social media? Didn't I just add that? Oh. Didn't I just create that? That's weird. Oh, I'm not a student, and I entered it as a student, so that's why it didn't take. So in student view, you'll see these numbers will populate as people enter stuff. So if I really had entered it where that 0 is, where the unread post, there'd be like a number there for how many people upload their work. But this is just going to be easier. You don't have to do the Etsy page. You can if you want, but I can put up that art entrepreneur. I have the links to art entrepreneur. I can't say that word very well. Or artsy.net. And then I'm going to upload, we have the link in this deck for our call for entry. So all that stuff will be in the PDF, and I'll put it in today's lesson, which is now week by week. This is week 4. And I was going to cover crypto art currency this week, but we're kind of out of time. So I'll prepare that for next week. So for this week, I want you to just start uploading what you have completed to the discussion board. So you've got your bio, your statement, your identity map, and your photos. So you've got these areas that you need to upload your work to. Make sure you put your name. For your images, you want to make sure it has your name for your JPEGs. So if I go here, I'll put in an example here. You're going to have your name, title, medium, size, .jpg. That's going to be your naming convention format, okay? And you'll find naming things like this will just help you keep track of your artwork and you'll be able to find it easy, okay?
Professor?
Yeah.
For the photography, I put all of mine in a PowerPoint. Is it fine if I upload that?
Yes, you could do that.
Awesome, thank you.
That's totally fine. Make sure you have your name on your PowerPoint. And then for next week, we're going to talk about websites. So does any of you know what a wireframe is? So it's a loosely drawn page with boxes indicating where you want to see. I'm going to add a slide. Where you would want, how you would want your website to look. So here's my web page. I'm going to do this real quick in Keynote. So this would be the home page. And this would be your header. And then you would have your images for the layout. Right, depending on how you want your website to look. your header and nav. You could have a logo. And then contact. And you have your gallery. I'll give you some examples of other wireframes, but basically a wireframe is you're going to be mapping out what your web page is going to look like. What do you want on your web page, right? So that's what we're going to do for your, I know some of you have already taken my web design class, but we're going to be working on using a templated website for a page for you to represent your work for those of you who have not taken my web design class. So the first thing you need to do for that is to just draw a wireframe of the content that you want on your page. And it's only going to be one page that we're going to do. Have any of you taken classes with Professor Mady using the program called Portfolio? It's an Adobe program. All right, so for this class, for this assignment, we're going to make a web page with Adobe Portfolio. And you'll be able to make your own web page. And we're going to use a template. And there's no HTML coding necessary to create a web page. Okay? And it's really, really easy to use. But before we can get to that step, you guys need to draw a wireframe of your web page. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. And Melissa, I did get your file. I just haven't had time to look at it.
No, it's okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure out, but I forgot the what to put for the host. Like the first
upload.
I forgot how to enter
That's okay.
to load it in there. Because when I did it, it didn't go through.
It didn't? Okay. I'll look at it. I've been so slammed. I teach 4 classes for St. Peter's, and I'm going to be starting up at FIT. And I also teach private art classes. And I'm just like, I'm all over the place. I consult too. I'm really busy. All right, guys, I'm sorry we went over. Does anyone have any questions? All right, I hope you enjoyed the class today. All right, if you have any questions, just reach out to me. All right.
Have a nice day.
Have a good week.
Have a good day.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Professor. Bye, guys.
Have a good day,
Have
Professor.
a good one. All right, bye.
So, recap for what we're gonna.
You have to upload your stuff to Blackboard, what I went over, and that's on Blackboard here, right? You're going to upload your photography, your identity map, and your bio and your artist statement. And then you're going to work on a wireframe for a web page to make a portfolio for your artwork.
All right.
And the
so-
wireframe is just empty boxes. I've got a big box here that's going to have my logo and my name and my contact. And then I'll have some pictures here for the gallery. And I'll have pictures here for another gallery.
Okay. So we can download this, right?
Yeah, I have to export this out as a PDF and I'll upload it to today's lecture.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day. I'll see you next. Well, actually, have a good week. I'll see you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.